Hello, guys. Good evening. It is your ray of sunshine. High Priestess Jamila. All right, y'all. I'm just going to have a really quick discussion. And first of all, to those of you that are just like, why? Oh my God, why? I got to tell you that when you first notice the behavior, when it first starts, the erratic, off the wall, strange behavior of either a drug addicted person or either someone that drinks way too much alcohol, but typically drug addiction is worse. The reason why I'm having this discussion is because it is something that it does fall underneath a spiritual discussion. There are some drug addicts, and you know what? It's probably more than what I'm counting. Okay. Because in order for them to get that drug, it's got to take a lot of energy. It's got to take away from other people. And of course, since we know that, especially when it comes to very hard drugs like crack cocaine, heroin, methamphetamines, other drugs, somebody got to be exploited. And unfortunately, when you live in America, you're going to run into that. That's the one thing they don't tell you about the American dream. There are some drug addicts, and especially after they've been doing drugs long term, you will find yourself being negatively affected by them, especially if they are harassing or stalking you on your job. For some reason, what I've noticed is that people that are heavily addicted, instead of going to rehab, instead of the system forcing them into rehab because somebody done made a mistake, what I've found is exploitation. And I believe that the drug war is partially the reason why the economy has kind of fallen up and down a lot, especially the past 4 years, which is why it was such a disgrace for the last president of the United States for his son to be drug addicted. I'm just telling the truth. I'm not trying to talk about his son. I hope that that man gets better. I hope that, and if you are someone that I love, okay, and you have a drug addiction, I really, really, really hope that you get some help. But you know what? There's some of these fellow drug addicts that are out here and they are exploiting, they are trafficking children, they are trafficking women, they are posting porn everywhere, trying to whatever it is that they feel that they can do to make sure that they maintain that habit. And you know what? It is something that we can beat spiritually. You have to have protection, especially if it's in your bloodline, or like you had a parent maybe that was on drugs. Maybe perhaps your parent might owe a drug dealer or something. I mean, this whole war with drugs, and I'm surprised that Trump is not addressing it. Why are we not addressing this? This is a huge problem. The problem is not necessarily with these federal workers. However, I will tell you that it is very easy to work for the government and be a drug addict, because the government does not regularly drug test unless you're in like a higher clearance position. They don't regularly drug test their employees. And the reason why I know is because I used to work for the Internal Revenue Service, and y'all know I smoke my weed constantly. So now I don't know about as far as like other sectors of the government, but I'm guessing it would be easy. I mean, a drug test can easily be passed, especially if it's a urine test anyway. Drugs are factually ripping apart families, ripping apart this country at the seams. And it's sad, but it's the truth. Not even ripping at the seams, at the fabric of this country. And you know what? It's so weird how they like to involve non-drug addicts, people that don't do drugs. That's why there's a lot of people that are struggling, and some of the drug addicts might be doing better than the people that they're harassing and stalking. I believe that because I'm finding out more and more about what we call drug demons and spirits. They will sacrifice. That's why if you're caught with drugs, that's why it is so frowned upon. And that's why they put people in prison for sometimes life. It's a very serious thing. Look at how it devastates the community, how horrifying it is. Now, I'm not picking on drug addicts, but we are at war with the dealers. They don't give a damn about the communities. They don't care. As long as they can sell those dopes to people, they don't care. All they care about is the money. They don't care about how this stuff is affecting innocent children. They don't give a damn. It's a fact. And it's something that we have to accept about the society that we live in right now. And unfortunately, if drug addiction, alcohol addiction has touched your family, then there's going to be people in very low places that are going to know your whereabouts, that are going to know about you, because maybe a drug addicted family member, even sometimes a parent, has discussed you with the drug dealer, and the drug dealer looks at you as a customer. They don't care. They just want the money. How do you protect your family? How do you actually get through this? With these people, you're living a straight life. You've always worked, you've always had jobs. The drug dealer and the drug world, they don't respect that. That everybody's whoring. It's all about hoeing, pimping and hoeing and selling drugs and using drugs and obtaining drugs. That's all it's about for them. How do you protect yourself? How do you protect yourself? You can. Do I believe that most people can do it with religion? Nope, I don't. I don't. Because in religion, it tells you to just lay down and be a sacrifice. So Jamila don't believe in that. Okay? You can be a religious person if you want, but I think that you have to go a little bit extra. Then you have to consider certain pantheons of spirits that support that behavior, and everything that you can do to alleviate yourself of that energy is seen as bad. You're forbidden and you can be punished. So, this is the reason why just recently I have a spirit doll that resides up underneath my statuette of Santa Muerta that literally says no. And you know what they will try to do is they will literally, I mean, a drug addict needs to go and get drug and alcohol counseling. They get that low. They hit, and some of them will hit rock bottom, but they will not change. They will continue the behavior that is harming people, and they just want to stay on that drug. And they even have become very parasitic, very vampiric, and they have started to target the spiritual community, in particular healers, because maybe perhaps our energy is keeping them animated, because it's almost like they're already dead inside. It's not even a real person anymore. You're just animating those drug spirits that are inhabiting their bodies. They create delays. They are even out there causing sicknesses to people. It is a war that I fight, but I fight on the side of right. I do not defend people like that. I do not. The innocent people that was straight laced, they'll accuse you of being narcissistic because you didn't make bad decisions. Y'all people are the ones that deserve my help. Now, some of y'all, I have had clients. Hey, Stevan, I have had clients that have been on drugs, but they've always told me and came clean. And then that way I know what it is that I'm dealing with. And so I've actually assisted people in getting off of narcotics before. Okay. So there's specific things that you have to do. There's specific energies that you have to be in. But you know what? How do you think people, everybody in this world, even people that you see living a very, very, very good life, you can tell that they're very wholesome. Everybody knows a drug addict or an alcoholic. Everybody. There's nobody in this world that does not know a drug addict or an alcoholic. You know what they did? They said, you know what? I'm taking my life back. I'm not gonna let him. And now everybody doesn't know a a rock bottom drug addict that is so ruthless that they will sick their sick friends on you. Now that's sick, but everybody knows a drug addict. Everybody. And you know what? There have been plenty of people that have made it in this world. I swear to the gods. And you will make it. You will prosper. You will overcome, because this is the new thing. They don't care. And you know what? It's almost like the second or third wave, because they say that back in the 70s is when drugs destroyed the community. And it is being facilitated by the drug addicts. I do not feel sorry for drug addicts. I do not. I feel sorry for the people that some of them afflict and affect, especially a lot of you empaths. And so empaths have to have protection from that, because and especially if you have a drug addicted person coming after you. Now, in the Bible, it says that you're supposed to love your enemy and die for them, is what it says in the Bible. I don't care what anybody says. It says that you're supposed to, if an enemy of yours says, hey, you are to be my slave, my scapegoat, and that's just the way it is. That's the way that Jesus made it. That's one of the reasons why most people don't follow that. It's just that for me, I have to be out in the open about it, because I am who I am. So this is the reason why I have to be out in the open. Uh-uh. I have to say straight up and down, hey, we got to have freedom. We got to have liberation from that, because they will try. And you know what? Unfortunately, and this is not atypical, because I know white people, white women that are clients of mine right now that I am helping, But typically, as far as the type of targeting that they will do, typically they mainly and mostly target if it's a black drug addict and they see you as a black person and they're one of those types of ruthless people. We do not covet those types of men. Those types of men have no welcome in our environment. They don't. These are the psychotic pimp types that have absolutely no respect for human life, and you have to be extremely harsh when it comes to your protection and your reaction to what they are doing. It just is what it is. You cannot, because you know what? All of those dreams and aspirations that you have, either they'll get thrown in the toilet and flushed down, or by the time you get there, you'll be half sick because you've been absorbing all of that negativity for quite some time. They're very erratic. Stuff is coming out of the blue. They want some kind of symbol of purity. They need a sacrifice, whether or not it's Jesus, your children, your grandchildren, you, your dog, your cat, your bird, your auntie. They don't care. And they are practicing Bible magic, but also witchcraft. And it's gotten out of hand. So this is something that we address because this is a huge problem. There are incidences and cases of people in social media. A lot of people, when they tell me, they say, I had to get rid of my social media because of so and so and so. And I look at their cards and I see the devil card, the death card, the temperance card, the judgment card. Drug addicts, they don't just go after the people that they are attacking and targeting and talking about. They are looking at everybody. Everybody. This is the reason why even people that have never had a conversation with them have to shut down their social media, because they literally, all they got to do is take a screenshot of you, and the next thing you know, and then also a lot of drug dealers practice witchcraft. Okay, this is a fact. This is the reason why Santa Muerta's presence is necessary. This is the reason why the presence of your ancestors is necessary. This is the reason why the presence of very powerful demons and angels are necessary for your survival. And you know what? I'm going to leave y'all with this tidbit of information. I don't care what they say. They are going to say some of the most horrific things to you and about you. Don't you ever give up on your life and start looking at the world the way that they do. Because when you do that, that's when they got you. That's when they have captivated your mind and they have made you feel that depression and apathy, and you don't even do dope. In fact, hell, you may want a cosmopolitan. You just may have a little little margarita or something, cha cha cha. I just want a margarita cha 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 with some salt around the rim. You know what I'm saying? You don't even do that because you at war with them and you want to keep a sober mind. Would you die for a drug addict? A random drug addict? Would you die for that person? I'm not talking about marijuana. I'm not even talking about mushrooms. I'm talking about some garbagey piece of crap drug addict that has probably done the most horrific things to good people. Are you willing to die for that person? The answer is more than likely no. They get to smoking them drugs and reading that Bible, and the next thing you know, they feel like they this, they that. Put them where they belong. End of story, period. Live life, maintain your purity and your opulence. They have started attacking hardworking Americans at their jobs. Donald Trump, you need to address this, Donald. Instead of the tariffs and all of that, can you please address that, Donald? And how we are dealing with the instability of these people right now, right? Like every single day. Most of the time it's hidden. Okay? Can we address this? Is what I want to know. Because they are a large part of why our economy is bad. They go into these stores, they stealing. They cause a lot of problems. A lot of problems for people. They do. Okay? And they extort people. It's just a fact. Five years ago, I would have told you I don't need an LLC. Pretty soon, I will have an LLC just to give my clients just that assurance. I don't want it to turn into a thing, though. It's something that's going to be covered very heavily. I will be an LLC very soon because we just need the extra insurance, and the assurance is what we need. And it's because of what's happening in the world. But in the meantime, what needs to be taken care of spiritually needs to be taken care of. Number one, if you had drug addiction in your family or a parent that did drugs, that is a generational curse. That is something that we have to address: the generational curses, the attacks, the spiritual attacks, the obsessions, the dangers that you're in physically as well. For example, I heard this story out of Texas that broke my heart in two. And this was actually over marijuana, which was really shocking. Apparently, this man decided to either steal some weed from a drug dealer. You know that them people came and kidnapped his sister and raped her and buried her alive over in Texas. We have got to be protected from the dangers of the decays of society. And the way you're going to do that is through spirit. Otherwise, you're a target, you're wide open. That's why I'm so harsh about it. You can hate me, but you should love me. If you are a person that has worked your entire life and you've done things for the betterment of your life, and then you have this jackass, listen, all of them should be under the rule that when they freak out because they don't know how to do this thing called life or make better decisions, well, then it's going to be their funeral, not yours. That's the way it's always been, and they want to change it, and it does not work that way. Here's a swift suggestion. How about you go to rehab? How about you go and see a mental health technician? Because there are some people that just smoke weed, but they don't. Smoking marijuana and drinking alcohol exacerbates mental conditions. And Why do y'all think that they used to put mentally ill people, people that were suffering from mental illness, they would lock them up? And the reason why is because the mind can be a dangerous thing. See, that's what a lot of people won't tell you, is that in the spirit world, in the occult world, as a witch, I can promise you that for the most part, you are protecting yourself from another person's thoughts, perceptions, and visions. And they may have shamanism in their bloodline. They may have witchery in their bloodline. But they're so sick and twisted that they're using it for evil, and they're doing a lot of evil to people. So you have to protect yourself from these people's dangerous minds and their intentions. Especially if it's not a shamanic bloodline or cosmic history with shamanism, you don't have to be as concerned. But if you can tell by the energy, like I can tell what people are, and then throughout the generations, the certain things that were done to lead these shamans have been lost. For example, I was telling y'all the other day about the spirit animals. You know, back in the day, the Native Americans, they would assign each child that was born with a spirit animal. This has not been done for at least 5 to 6 generations in some people's family. Now, in some families, it was regular witchery that was done, and a lot of the grandmothers and the great grandmothers broke those generational curses. Unfortunately, about the 60s and 70s is when we ended up with a new evil, and that was hard drugs. And you got to protect yourself. You got to think about that movie called New Jack City. It's just like that. It is. And you know what? I would look at a drug dealer in his face and tell him that his gun will jam on him. You understand me? Because they always trying to use guns to scare people. And it's disgusting how ruthless these people are in the community. They don't give a damn about the women, the children. They cause the community to turn into a war zone, literally. And I don't agree with it, because at a very young age, drugs touched my life because my father had an addiction. And so it triggers me. I don't like it. But I can always recognize it. Now, of course, my father did get off of drugs later on in life, but it's just the point that when you see it and you witness it, and you watch it ruin your family, and you watch it ruin somebody that you love, it's fucked up. And nobody has the right to scapegoat on somebody else. If you a drug addict, you're going to live the life of a drug addict. You're not going to make somebody else live your life, because it was always meant for you to hit rock bottom and for you to lose everything so that you could live, so that you could keep yourself. So people that are not on drugs, none of this destiny swapping, all this crap y'all trying to do, it ain't going to fly in the grand scheme of things. Not over here at Divine Services Apothecary. We got your number written down. And we stand strong 1,000,000% against you as your adversary. And we know that we will never lose. Now, you guys can set up your appointments if you like. I gotta go. I got things to do, and I'm hungry. I need to eat something. So I will check y'all later. I love you guys. Stay strong. Do not let these people make you give up hope or trigger you. That's another thing when it comes to drug addiction. A lot of people that have kicked the habit, they come online and they be and it's almost like a familiar energy. No, I'm not talking about decent people that used to have addictions. I'm not even talking about decent people that dabble a little bit in their addiction. I'm talking about people that have made it a way of life to exploit innocent people and to parasite off of them and to try to take their life so that they can sustain their drug addiction. We are at war with those people, not just in social media, but we are at war with those people in real life. However, whatever it is that they try to send to us on the internet over here, we're protected from that. They can't send us nothing over the internet, over the ether, over the airwaves. Okay. So that's something that we have dealt with long time ago, but we just made it a lot more stronger just recently. Okay. So they don't have a prayer. What they need to do is they need to contact their local government. They need to look up in the yellow pages. They need to Google it. What they need to do is they need to find the nearest drug rehabilitation center and go there. Because the things that y'all want in life, the houses, the cars, all of those things that y'all want in life, to where you're not having to breathe in embers of mold and things of that nature, y'all will have, especially if you stick with High Priestess Jamila. I know all about it, honey, and it is a set of spirits, and we stand in direct opposition of their drug demons, and we whoop they asses every single day of our lives. They want to see children hurt and harmed because they done lost their mind. Their eyeballs is rolling all around in their damn head. They done lost their mind. They don't care about what they do to people in the community. And then what they will do, and this is the real kicker, which I would never give them the opportunity to do. After a drug addict or an alcoholic has done the goddamn most, now they want to come back and after they done got sober, some of them, and they want to apologize. I am so sorry for what I did. Listen, you know what I would say to them? You know what I would do? Especially if it's a complete stranger that's affecting your life, a neighbor, or some shit like that. I would close the door in their face. I don't even want to hear it. Especially after you done took people through all them changes for years and years and years and done impeded on people's lives for years and years and years. Get up out of my face. Go enjoy your sobriety. I don't want to hear you sorry. Now, if it's a family member, yeah, that's fine. But even some of them, you just had to close the door in their face. They don't even need. It's sad that it's people in this world. You can't even tell them where the hell you live. You can't even tell them where the hell you live. And then you supposed to do the good Christian thing and die for them. I don't think so. Hell Satan. Hell Lucifer. Nobody over here has that time. We ain't on that kind of stupid time. No, we're not going to be a good Samaritan and give up our life and be a sacrifice for the drug addicts. No, we're not. Okay? They're going to find themselves in very precarious positions if they continue. And that's all it is to it. And you don't have to feel bad and say, oh, why? Listen, love yourself more than you love your enemy. I never did understand that. I don't care. I don't agree with what Jesus said. In fact, hell, we never know. That might have just got added back in the 1970s to the Bible. We don't know that. Jesus said, love your enemies. Well, you know what? Back then, there were different types of enemies. So we don't have to go by those same standards these days. Right now, your enemies is causing death and destruction in innocent people's lives, period. And you got to make sure that it doesn't create that in your life. You have every right to watch your family grow and to have the things that you worked for, because that's exactly what they're doing. What they are doing is they are watching you work, they watching you do your work, and they want to benefit from it and make sure that you cut them off and that they don't. End of story. And ain't nobody got to argue with you about it. You ain't got to go back and forth with them, and you ain't got to worry about them, because we have spirits over here that, like I told y'all, will elevate them, lift them, and rapture them up off of this earth. And that is a fact. And that's all it is to it. Okay? And no, we don't feel bad. We want our life. We want our white picket fence, whatever it is that you want, clawfoot tubs. Y'all know that I just sit here and look at clawfoot tubs all the time. You want your clawfoot tubs, you want your 6 fireplaces, you want your life, and you will have it. Okay. And that's all it is to it. It don't matter what an ignorant person says to you. It does not matter. You have the right to work for it. You done worked your whole life for it. You done been out in the workforce. You done worked while they done sat around and took the easy, horrific way out by selling dope in their community. And then now you supposed to sit up here and your family's supposed to be compromised because of this person? The answer is most definitely no. Okay? So don't even trip, y'all. All right, y'all. I gotta go. I will see y'all later. Blessings to y'all. Bye bye.